broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in Northport, Florida. I have a very, very special guest in the house, her first time ever on the show. I'm kind of going to let her introduce herself because she is going to give us a lot of really great information today. Sarah, go ahead and quickly introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Sarah Chavarria, and I'm the president of Delta Dental Insurance Company.
So how long have you been with Delta?
I celebrated my 5th year anniversary over Labor Day. So I've been there for 5 years.
Congratulations. So
thank you.
What does Delta Dental do exactly?
So in short, we provide access to dental care for over 40 million Americans. So through dental insurance and partnering with community partners to deliver that access to care.
So a lot of our listeners are going to have heard of Delta Dental, just like I have, because you're out there on a national scale, aren't you?
We absolutely are, yes.
So, you guys have done some research about older Americans. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what you found out about the research?
Yeah, I would love to. So we surveyed Americans 50 and older across the United States. And here are a couple of the things we learned. 72% of those Americans over 50 regret not taking better care of their teeth and their oral health when they were younger. And 80% of them still are not. And what I mean by that is they're not going to the dentist twice a year to get that cleaning and get that checkup. And that is so important when we think about our oral health and when we think about our overall health.
So I've got to say that I wasn't so proactive when I was younger, but I've gotten so much better in my adult life. And now I've got a great dentist, and I go twice a year. And the funny thing is, I think if people were really, more in tune with the dentist that they're going to, the care that they're now providing, I'm in and out of there in a half hour, 40 minutes for my cleaning or less. But it's the techniques have gotten so much better than they were before. I mean, we've kind of come out of the Stone Ages when I was a kid, and we've kind of become a lot better at it, more proficient. So technology has actually gotten better within the dentistry area too, right?
Absolutely. And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because one of our other findings was really kind of what are the barriers that are keeping people from coming? And so one of those 3 barriers is that they have some negative perception of going to the dentist, maybe related to when they went 30, 40, 50 years ago. And we have come a long way in advancements in this field. And like you said, a lot of things that would have been really, horrible to imagine, like a root canal 20 years ago, that's a very different experience today. And going to the dentist preventatively, so going twice a year, can help you avoid some of those bigger problems. But that was one of the barriers. One of the other ones was really that lack of information and understanding that oral health is a critical insight into your overall health. And I want to give one really quick fact.
Sure.
For seniors, so 65 and older, 68% have gum disease, and gum disease can be an indicator for things like heart disease, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's. So that's pretty shocking. And so I hope that helps really connect this oral health to overall health. And then the third barrier is just access, time, mobility, transportation. So really finding a place that you can go to get to that dentist. Those are some of the barriers that came out in our report as well.
Well, and I want to talk a little bit about technology too, because what changed for me was the introduction to the electric toothbrush and the Sonicare that was recommended by my dentist, which actually changed everything for me within the first cleaning cycle. So, there's some importance to that. and the technology that we can use as a preventative to tooth decay and gum repair itself changes your trip into the dental office, which, Delta Dental having the insurance side of things, I'm sure that you're engaged with preventative more so than having people have to go through a root canal, correct?
That's right. And I'm glad you brought that up because brushing, so we subscribe to the 2-1-2, right? Go to your dentist twice a year, brush twice a day. And if you can use something like a Sonicare, that's wonderful. It helps you time it. It helps you make sure you're reaching all the right places and doing the right motions. But even a regular toothbrush will do. And flossing once a day is also important. But yeah, in healthcare in general, if you can be proactive and preventative, you're going to avoid some of those more critical reasons that you have to seek care.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about the nutritional side of taking care of your teeth, because watching several videos the other night, one of the big things about digestive is that your mouth is the key to a good digestive system, and having good teeth to chew things up. That's a major component to this, isn't it?
It is. And I don't know if I'm alone. I doubt it. But coming out of the pandemic, I'm certainly paying more close attention to how I'm eating and how I'm moving around. And so, yes, I would say that getting some fruits and vegetables in there is a really big part of staying healthy. And it all starts with your oral health and drinking a lot of water. And specifically for your oral health, if you can find water that has fluoride in it, even better. That's great. Combine that with regular exercise, going for a walk, riding a bike, doing something like that. And if you have a partial or a denture, making sure you're taking that out and cleaning it every day. Those are all really, really important things to taking care of your oral health, which will help in your overall health. You're exactly right.
Let's talk a little bit now about your actual program that you have. Can people find you on the website? Or on the web?
Yeah, they can. So yeah, there are several ways to find us, but the one to find us related to healthy aging is ddins.co/healthy aging. We've made sure to put all of the resources behind what we're talking about right there, so it's in one place for everyone.
We've got a really heavily aging population now. With the baby boomers all kind of hitting the peak. And we've all of our lives, I'm going to put you in my bracket because I'm the tail end of that. But all of my life, I've been geared towards every job I've ever had of talking about, hey, when the baby boomers actually hit and it starts to slide. Well, I think we're seeing the downward trend of the baby boom timeframe. People are retiring now. They're doing things different. What would you tell the senior base about, if you haven't done dental, what would be the key factor on driving them to your program?
I would say just find that access to care either through us by looking for a plan that can connect you to that access to care, or look for community partners that can offer that access to care. As an organization, we partner with a lot of places and communities to make sure that people get that access. That's really, really critical. One of the things I want to bring up around your question is also, we have 5 generations in the workplace right now. You're right. We've got some of those folks starting to retire, but we're also coming out of a period where a lot of us haven't been spending time together, and now we're making those connections again. And think about that as it relates to your emotional and your mental well-being. And in this report, 2 out of 5 folks say that they're smiling less than they did when they were younger. And 30% say they're avoiding those connections because they're embarrassed about their teeth, they're embarrassed about their laugh or their smile. So it's really important to find that access to care either through us or through some community partners that we look for to support, so that people can get in and get that first visit before the end of the year. That would be so wonderful.
Well, and there's a whole lot to be said about, 1, getting started, 2, changing how you look and how you perceived, not just in someone else's mindset, but there's so much to have to do with health, with your teeth, not just on the healthy side, but even the mental health side of things. And I'm glad you
Right.
brought that up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, think about that. I mean, you smile and you just feel better.
right. Well, and you brought up the pandemic. Well, through the pandemic, we've run into a lot of people who wore masks and they handled themselves a lot differently. Whether they had a bad smile before or not, they handled themselves differently. But I'm just sitting here thinking about what you said is that, people who may have had some bad teeth situations when they had to wear the mask, I imagine their guard came down a lot more than most of us that didn't worry about that before, because they didn't have that as a focal point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I love some of the masks that have the smile painted on it, but
Right.
I think that's right. I think some people delayed seeking care. They were afraid maybe to go over the last couple of years. So, right. I mean, now's the time to get that first visit in and really kind of do that health check and see, is it a simple cleaning or are there a couple of things I can do? Because I mean, we certainly want to make sure that everybody is smiling into their retirement as they start to get to look forward to that. I'm still several years away, but in my daily job and in my personal life, I have a lot of connections. So, my smile is really important to me, and I know it's really important to others.
How hard is it to get involved with Delta Dental as a consumer?
Oh, it's not hard at all. So, like many other plans, through employment, that benefit could be offered. If you're an individual, if you're a senior in our community, we have individual plans that can be accessed through our website. We also offer our insurance through the exchanges. So that's another way. For those 50 and older, we're even attached to AARP. And so, you can find it that way. And then, like I said, if that's not for you, look for a community partner. We do a lot of work through our foundation to support local community services, local community centers that focus on oral health, specifically oral health for seniors, but not exclusively. So we try to find every avenue to really provide that access for people to oral health care.
One last question, because I know you've got a lot going on today, but what drove you to do the research for what you're talking about today? What really drove Delta Dental to dive into that?
Working in this space for 5 years, but working in healthcare for a really long time, we recognize that there is a lot out there for oral healthcare for children. And we suspected there was a lot more that we could do around oral healthcare for seniors. You mentioned yourself, this is a growing population. And so we were very proactive in going out and doing this survey so that we could find some of those data points and some of those insights to help us make decisions as an organization of how to better support this community of people 50 and older. So that is very specifically why we went out and did this. And now we get to talk about it because we have all these amazing learnings.
So I'm going to ask you again, please give your website information, your contact information for our listeners. And please, listeners, share this information, because truthfully, the only way we can get this word out, and it is great information for the community, is to share it and send it to friends and loved ones, or even neighbors that may just need a little push, and say, hey, there is help out there. Go ahead, Sarah.
All right. Hopefully it's easy to remember. ddins.co/healthy aging.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Sarah, and I know you've got a busy day being the president and all the things that you're doing. Thank you for your really great insight and your help, and I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for giving me so much time, and have a great day. I really appreciate it.
You do the same. Well, this is John Rawlings with WKDW Radio, Real Talk 97.5, saying thanks and have a great day. And please share it. It's great information to give out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.